In an extremely unexpected and unusual turn of events, I'm very surprised to see this. The United Kingdom has just approved one of the world's biggest coal mines. In a time when renewable energy costs are continually plummeting, this is completely unexpected. And they have a justification. They have a reason for this. They say it doesn't matter about coal. We're going to use non-existent carbon capture technologies to somehow make it clean coal. Is this legit? Is this real? Or is this just a hoax? Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. My name's Sam Evans and I'm coming to you from Melbourne in Australia. Thank you for tuning in. It's great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome back, everyone else. If you'd like to, we have a Facebook group for members of the channel. I'll put a link in the description below. In fact, for anyone, jump on the channel, jump on Facebook and join the group. You might as well. There's thousands of people there who are basically sharing the beliefs of you who are watching this right now. That's as long as you're into EVs, electric cars, battery technology, basically the future of the planet, renewable energy, which is the exact opposite to what seems to have just happened in the United Kingdom, which is a big surprise to me, I must say. It doesn't seem economically viable to start this. I mean, some of the world's biggest coal companies have gone bankrupt within the last 5 years. The idea that a technology called carbon capture and storage, or CCS, could catch molecules of CO2 as they emerge from the chimneys of power stations and factories has been around for more than 2 decades. Some people really believe that it's true. That's what happens when you tell people lies and they start to believe it. Eventually, you say it enough, you repeat a lie enough times and what happened? Yeah. Michael Gove, the Secretary of State responsible for levelling up the UK's regions, recently justified his approval of the UK's first new coal mine in 30 years with increased use of carbon capture technologies which don't actually even exist right now. There's one problem. CCS won't cancel out Woodhouse Colliery's emissions, which are estimated at 400,000 tonnes a year, because it barely exists. Renew Economy says that the UK government first started talking about CCS in the late 1990s, when it was looking to meet and exceed its commitment to cut emissions under the Kyoto Protocols. The fact that developing countries like China and India were planning to burn coal for decades made the UK consider starting a CCS industry as its gift to the world, in the words of one senior lobbyist that Renew Economy interviewed for research into industrial decarbonisation. It's obvious why oil and gas companies like the idea of CCS. It allows them to just go on polluting and not worry about it. I mean, some person can just invent imaginary technology which will solve all the problems. We just keep on doing what we're doing. Fossil fuel firms can then keep on extracting and selling their products, coking coal for the steel industry in the case of the new mine in Cumbria in northwest England, almost all of which is expected to be exported. And mopping up the climate-wrecking emissions is just someone else's responsibility. Politicians have been more circumspect. Some have chafed at the enormous upfront cost of developing CCS, carbon capture technology, and sinking taxpayers' money into a potential white elephant, which is exactly what it is. Here in Australia, right, we love coal, or we used to. Very quickly, Australians and, politicians here have realized that it's an end to nowhere. It's a dead end to nowhere. What do I mean? Renewable energy is much cheaper. I mean, Oxford University, which is based in the United Kingdom themselves, said the global economy will save trillions of dollars. The sooner we move to renewable energy, the sooner we start saving money. They detailed all of their research, why they came to this conclusion. It's not a simple reason. It's not just simply this is this, so therefore that. It's actually a vast array of reasons, including health effects at the individual level. And what's happened is, here in places like Australia, we paid attention and people started to realize that actually renewable energy works and actually it's cheap and it's affordable. What that means is here in Australia, we're going to hit 92% renewable energy generation by 2030 at the latest. Energy companies have said they're closing coal-fired power stations, all of them, within the next 12 years. That's the end for coal in Australia. So the country in the world that loves coal more than any other has woken up to this reality. But for some reason, the United Kingdom hasn't, which is very strange. Politicians, over the last 20 years in the UK, the future potential of CCS has been used to justify prolonging coal power, making hydrogen fuel from the potent greenhouse gas methane, and building more gas-fired power stations. Now, where do you think that hydrogen that people pump into their cars comes from? Do you think it comes from renewable green hydrogen? It doesn't. There are no hydrogen fueling stations in the world that use green hydrogen because it barely even exists. Same thing with CC2 carbon capturing technologies. Advocates of a greenhouse gas removal industry, which would scrub excess carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, now envisage a vast network of pipes and ships transporting captured CO to storage facilities. Imagine the costs involved in that. It's completely uneconomically viable. One group, known as the Coalition for Negative Emissions, composed of energy firms and airlines, among other companies, sees the potential in CCS to allow societies to decarbonize while ensuring continued economic progress. It also points out that the enabling infrastructure had significant scale-up times, and this acceleration needs to start today. Amid all these breathless position papers and adverts, it can be easy to forget that pilot programs for CCS have been plagued by cost overruns and operational failures. It almost never goes to plan. CCS is still many years away from making a dent in humanity's emissions. Even if everything goes much more smoothly than it has in the past, repeatedly in the past, it's still not going to have any real world impact. To use the possible commercial existence of CCS sometime at some magical point in the distant future as a reason to wave through a high carbon development now, as Gove has done, is a good example of what some fellow academics have called mitigation deterrence. Duncan McLaren wrote for Lancaster University back in March of 2020 that the problem of mitigation deterrence, the idea that promises of future carbon removal might act as an excuse for avoiding the need to cut emissions today, is prevalent in the current political climate. Meaning, efforts at mitigating climate change by reducing the amount of carbon spewed into the atmosphere are deterred by the real or imagined existence of future technologies that might work or might not. It's the equivalent of smoking more and more cigarettes every day and gambling that a cure for cancer will exist by the time you actually need it. Personally, I don't think that's a smart gamble. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.